What's up, my peoples? So I was supposed to do a boxing video, but I chose not to do it at this time because I already putting up something else. So I was supposed to do a boxing video, but hold on a second. 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 Already putting up something. Oh man, this thing's really blurry, man. What's up with that? And besides being blurry, can't even see my entire face on it. Wow, that's crazy. I hope you guys can see my face now. But yeah, I was just gonna talk about what Bob Arum said, throwing jabs at Mikey Garcia as if you know, trying to put. I don't know why this guy does that. Like Bob Arum has continuously been a plague on boxing. To praise up his Terrence Crawford, he's going to put down Mikey Garcia. Of course, Mikey Garcia has left him, is now in his own career and everything. You know, what's strange though is I'm not getting so much Errol Spence bashing out here, but now people are bashing Mikey Garcia. And I'm like, look, man, the dude jumped up 2 weight classes to face Errol Spence. Okay? He jumped up 2 weight classes. They're talking about he survived the fight. He was trying to win the fight. Dude was trying to win the fight for all 12 rounds. He was trying. All right? He didn't go in there to lay down, but he had to use his defense. If Errol Spence is teeing off on you, right? You have to shell up. You have to use your defense first. And then after you weather the storm, then you can counterpunch the guy. It's common sense. All right. So I think a lot of people are. I've seen people saying Mikey Garcia's career is over, taking shots at Mikey Garcia for what he did. And there's a certain maliciousness to certain people, like Timothy Bradley, who was a top-ranked fighter. There's certain maliciousness to what they're doing. And I'm looking at that and I'm saying, oh, you tearing into Mikey because Mikey left top rank, huh? Andre Ward tearing into Mikey, oh, his career will never be the same. And I'm like, what the, you know, that's dirty. That's nasty. You know what I'm saying? Mikey didn't get damaged that much in the fight. We all know this. By now, his face is healed up and everything. I think that a lot of people are using the Errol Spence win against Mikey to throw jabs at the dude. And I find that really low. And even Errol Spence throwing jabs at Sugar Ray Leonard. So what, Sugar Ray Leonard can't pick who he wants to pick? He can't choose what he wants to choose? You know me, I'm a fair cat. And of course, I wanted Mikey to win, obviously. I wanted Mikey to win this fight because he's a smaller guy and everything. And what it could have meant for him. But Errol Spence dominated. And I'm absolutely happy that he got the win because now his career is going in a very high direction. All right. So I'm happy for him. And he's pound for pound, I believe, close to #1 in the world if he's not #1. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to him. He beat an excellent fighter. All right. He made it look easy too. We know it wasn't easy, but he made it look easy. And so I gotta give him his props. You know, you gotta give him his props. Errol, and you know, I'm hearing this narrative, Errol never get the credit, but bullshit. He's getting a lot of credit right now. He's sitting really nice. All right. The thing I don't like with some of you online channels now is you bashing Mikey Garcia for taking this challenge, for stepping up to the plate, to daring to be great. You bashing him because he couldn't find a solution to Errol Spence's jab all night. He couldn't figure it out. He was trying to, but he couldn't figure it out. All right. And a lot of y'all are bashing Mikey Garcia. Y'all don't even understand how the fucking hell that is difficult to pull off what he was trying to do. Okay. And for all those people, including Eric Bradley, all right, Eric Bradley thought he called it. Mikey didn't get damaged. Mikey didn't get damaged in that fight. And you know that. He didn't even get buzzed. All right. Guys, Errol hit him with a good body shot, though, in the 11th round. I'll give him that. And so I don't want to hear people bashing Mikey Garcia. That's bullshit right now. That's even more stupid. And I hear a lot of people saying, oh, Mikey will never be the same. And he took so much punishment. He didn't take shit. He didn't take much shit. Underneath his left eye, if you look carefully, before the fight happened, he had a little mark there. And the mark came up and it bust open. And he had a little cut underneath here. His face was a little peppered with, you can see the you know, where the punch marks came, the jabs. Other than the jab, what Errol Spence actually practically landed on Mikey Garcia? I think he hit him with a very good left hook in the 11th. But really, what has he done to damage Mikey Garcia? He ain't do shit to Mikey. And y'all know this. And Errol knows this. Mikey catched a lot of shots. His defense was on point. The problem with Mikey was he couldn't mount the offense because Errol Spence had him occupied quite a lot with the jab. Errol Spence used that jab like like a piston. And when Mikey finally got on the inside to start infighting Spence, Spence is good at the inside as well. So it was a challenge for Mikey. You know what I'm saying? And Spence be pivoting left and right, left and right. Mikey be pivoting too, but I'm just saying, Spence be the one generally throwing more of the punches. He would be the busier guy, you know? And I give Errol Spence his props. On as I said before, he has great pivot work. I don't know about the head movement. He talking about how he had good head movement. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all, Errol. You still got to work on that head movement, all right? But other than that, but again, it's kind of hard to work on your head movement when you're coming forward, attacking an opponent, because your head be sticking out in one place. That's why Mikey keep on counter punching your ass, because your head be in one spot. What you got to do when you're attacking somebody is you got to bob and weave. You got to keep that head moving. So even when you leverage a shot on this side, you got to keep that head moving. You know what I'm saying? You got to change head slots. Even though you may, especially when you're attacking somebody, you don't have inbuilt defense, because usually your head ends up in the center line. I like that Errol, he would pop, he would pot shot, and then he would roll out of there, or he pot shot and pivot. You know, Mikey was trying to walk down Errol for a couple rounds, well, and he kept on missing a lot of shots. Errol kept on rolling a lot of shots. Mikey only would land like an occasional body shot, good body shot, but occasional body shot. And I was impressed with what Mikey did, because a lot of fighters can't come up to any weight class, and do what they did to Errol. Errol's on point. You know, if it was any other fighter in there, they would get stopped. They'd have got stopped by Errol. You know, any other fighter in there would have gotten stopped by Errol. Not welterweight per se, but any other fighter coming up. So what Mikey did, he's a special dude, and you guys have to acknowledge that. And the way how he approached it, he was trying to throw caution to the wind. Like I said, yeah, obviously he could have pressed the action a little bit more, bob and weave, be on Errol a little bit more. He could have been a little bit more, but he's a tactical fighter. He's looking for the openings. Then he don't necessarily throw a whole bunch of flurries. He pot shot you, so he would come and he would throw his pot shots as well. So everything he wanted to do, Errol was kind of offsetting him. So you had to reset all the time. And kudos to Errol on that. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see a rematch between Mikey and Errol, though, because I think Mikey has learned a lot from that experience, because he has to figure out how to get past the jab. And I've been always talking about how you can get past the jab. Mikey tried various things to get past the jab. The problem with Mikey was, all right, so Mikey would dip, and then he would change head slots, right? If he's coming in with a leaping left hook or leaping right hook, he wouldn't follow up with another stay low, dip, and come at Errol again. You have to stay, dip, come under. You got to move the head, the upper body. So you stay, dip, come under. Now, Errol could counter that by simply slipping in on Mikey. So they end up in a clinch. So Mikey, if he's coming aggressively at Errol, which he tried to do a couple times, Errol will back off, right? But Errol could also slide in on him and stay on the inside and position his body. So Errol could have changed the range as is appropriate. So Mikey's always out of range when Mikey want to throw his combinations. But the thing with Mikey, again, don't try to go for the head, try to go for the body. You can feint to the head, feint as if you go to the head, hit him with a body shot. You understand? So you feint. So if I could tell you what I would do, but just to like I could tell you what I would do, but I can't execute it because I don't have the coordination and skills to do it. But if I was on the outside here, I'm orthodox, right? I'm on the outside here, right? I'm gonna dip low, bobbing and weaving, coming at you, and then I'm gonna come low. But he might probably see it. And instead of coming with this hand, because I'm coming this way, I'll come with this hand with a leaping left hook. But I might throw my left hook as if I'm going to go high and I hit you to the body down low. I'll do as if I'm going high and I hit you to the body. So I reverse Marcos Maidana effect. So I do as I'm come up low. He might drop his guard. I catch him to the body. And then now the thing about it is Errol, he's in the southpaw stance. So I'm trying to hit him way back here. So I got to hook all the way around his body to catch him. It's awkward. So, and he will try and stick the jab down low. He tried to stick the jab down low. And I saw him stiff arm Mikey Garcia, stiff arm him here to keep the head down so he wouldn't come back up. So he was stiff arming Mikey to try and keep him, keep the shorter guy. But Mikey needed to roll this way as he stiff arm and roll and then come up with the shot. Errol obviously was trying to back off and pivot, right? So you have to be aggressive. Almost like it had to be kind of Mike Tyson, like Sean Porter. If only Sean Porter was more accurate with his shit, it would be a good ass fight with Errol Spence. Because Sean Porter, that's what he does. He got that skill to get in on the inside and land shots on the inside. He ain't got much power, but yeah, that's what Porter would have to do with Errol Spence. And if he wants to, he could dip out and go to the outside if he wants to, because Porter could do the in and out action. But I think Porter's strong on the inside, so it would be nice to see him just try and manhandle Spence on the inside. But again, that's easier said than done because Errol Spence is also strong. And on top of that, the pivot fucking work of Errol Spence is the thing that gives a lot of people problems. He pivots like nobody's business, man. He got beautiful pivot work, beautiful footwork. That's the thing that Errol Spence got, that it will throw everybody off. And not many people know how to pivot like that. And Errol knows how to pivot, man. He knows how to pivot. I saw Kell Brook also doing the pivot work with Sean Porter. So that's what to throw off a shorter fighter. And Spence, Garcia, Kell Brook, they're not Muhammad Ali's. They don't bounce around the ring. They don't do that shit. They cut angles. That's what Errol does. But Mikey knew how to cut angles too. So Errol couldn't really get the shots he wanted to get on Mikey. So Mikey was cutting angles too. I'm telling you, man, the shit, people need to go back and watch that fight. It was very competitive in a certain way, you know. And man, I enjoyed it. I really did. Mikey did take more shots, not clean shots. Most of the class were still partially blocked, but he took some clean shots from Errol, and he handled the power very well as well. And he was dealing some decent power as well to Errol. Otherwise, Errol would have walked him down and destroyed him. All right. If he didn't have the strength and power to keep Errol off of him, he'd have destroyed him. And Mikey walking down Errol in the 12th round, come on, man. How a ninja be walking down Errol in the 12th? What did his corner say? What did Derrick James say? Go get him. Errol was supposed to go out there and stop Mikey Garcia. Didn't stop him. Not only did he not stop him, Mikey was walking him down in the 12th. Yeah, Mikey was collecting some shots too. But Errol, one of the things I would say about Errol though, I saw him varying the punch, the power of his punches. He didn't only, and Floyd and Derrick James was telling him to slow down so you could get the real pop, the real power in the punch. When you try and tighten up too much, you don't get that pop that you need to get. And he dug to the buddy on Mikey Garcia a couple times, which was really good, solid shots. But Mikey blocked them. He caught them, and he caught them and he rolled them. So that's why Mikey didn't feel a lot of the shots that Errol threw at him, because Mikey was catching and I saw Mikey catching and shooting too, catching and shooting to Errol's head. You know, catch and shoot. Mikey got really good defense. That's why that dude Mikey Garcia is a very good defensive fighter. I'm really satisfied with the fight. People talking about moral victory. Nobody gives a damn about moral victories. I heard some people say, well, Mikey was a moral victory, and Mikey kind of nodding, but Mikey didn't care about no moral victory. Come on, you came in. Mikey didn't come in. He didn't come in the ring to get a moral victory. He came in the ring to win, and he was trying to win every step of the way. But when a guy's throwing you 6-7 punches at you, yeah, he's open, but you also had to cover up to try and make the shot. And if you don't have the reach advantage, the dude could do it from the outside. He could be trying to tee off of you on the outside. Fight Heads MMA said, hello. Shout out to you, Fight Head MMA. We're just talking about, as you can see here, the topic is Bubba Arum's bullshit. Errol Spence reign is pound for pound king. Mikey Garcia not wanting to win and more. So I don't believe that Mikey Garcia for 1 second in that fight didn't want to win. He was trying to win every second. You see him pump his fist every single round. It's because he was doing different things that he thought he was succeeding with, which is trying to push Errol back and stuff. He was trying to get Errol out of there. He was trying to. Right? And remember, this guy just jumped up to welterweight. He didn't even settle into the weight class. He just went straight at Errol. And I got to give him his props. Now, a lot of people say, well, the fight was boring. It was one side. No. Pay attention to the little mini wars that those two guys were going at each other with. As much as Errol's talking about, you know, he could fight another day and so on. He could fight next week, whatever. Errol knows within his heart who he faced. He knew what Mikey brought to the table. Yes, Mikey said he felt he was better than Errol in every bit of way. Errol shouldn't take that to heart because that's what the dude believed. If Mikey Garcia went into that fight thinking that he was not better than Errol Spence, then his ass would have gotten knocked out in the first round, right? You have to have the confidence. You have to feel that you can beat the other person. So Errol shouldn't be, I don't know why he's bent up in his feelings about that and about Mikey talking so much. If Mikey talks so much, then good. Then you get the best Errol Spence. And we saw things in Errol that we didn't see before. Mikey brought that out, right? And Errol will learn that not every day you can have a man down, right? I saw Errol trying to do the man down thing at the end. And I was like, no, you didn't man down him. You can't man down Mikey. Too good technically, too good, too intelligent and defensively. He was never going to knock him out. I said that. I stood on it, and people saw it for themselves. And Mikey didn't take no fucking punishment. He took punishment in terms of his face was a little bit cut up. And he didn't take that kind of punishment. Look, man, Errol hits hard enough and breaks you down enough that he gets you out of there. It's that punishment. Your body can't take that kind of punishment. I heard Coach Eric Bradley talking about, Mikey would take some punishment, and he wouldn't be able to take those thudding shots and blah. No, man. No. The last punch that was thrown was by Mikey Garcia. It was a body shot. It was a liver shot in the fight. Go watch it. The last punch was a liver shot. All right? For those people who say, Fight Heads MMA said Mikey believed he could win. That's why he punched. That's why he pushed for the fight. He believed in himself. Yeah. He believed he could win. Now, after he didn't win, he acknowledged the champion like a true champion does. He acknowledged him. He said it was a learning experience for him. And he got to find a way now to figure out how to get past a taller guy who knows how to use his jab. And there is ways, like I said before. And I think one of the things, though, he didn't do, Aaron Pryor was a guy that would do this. Floyd Mayweather was a guy that would do this. You have to press a guy who's boxing you. When a guy's boxing you, you have to press him to make him fight you. So you have to press him. And that's the one thing, Mike, he was very cerebral in what he was doing, but he had to press Errol. He couldn't afford to let up on Errol. He had to now press him. Mikey's not a guy that really throws a ton of punches, but that's what he needed to do. That's what Boom Boom Mancini was saying, and that was the only way. You had to press him. Now, it's not come to him and be reckless, but you had to press him, and Mikey had to press Errol Spence. The problem was Errol Spence would stop teeing off with shots, but as Errol's teeing off with shots, Mikey was starting to figure out I had to catch him in between the shot selections. So if Errol's throwing a 3-4 punch combination like Marcos McDonough, then I got to catch him inside of that. And Mikey was starting to catch him with the check hooks and with the little hooks inside. But I was suggesting that because Errol Spence would catch him back with another shot because Errol Spence be on a roll with the combinations. But what you have to do with a guy like that is you have to, and Mikey did a pretty good job inside of there. I got to say, on the inside. He's not really an inside fighter. But you have to press him. Then you got to start landing body and head punches. But you got to do it still keeping your defense on point. And that's not easy. I saw Mikey angling himself a certain way, which is the right way to do it. Even Floyd Mayweather, he don't throw a whole bunch of punches once he's on the inside. I remember Floyd Mayweather versus Jose Luis Castillo, the first one, when Mayweather just went in the trenches with Jose Luis Castillo. That's what Mikey ended up having to do. But he was, by that time, he had far lost the fight, but he had gotten on the inside of Spence. He was starting to work Spence, working back, and starting to fight Spence like that. Spence was still throwing more. He was more active. He was landing some. So therefore, because he threw more, he would land more than Mikey. But Mike was giving, again, some chopping shots to the body and stuff, and made Spence have to pivot, turn, which is good. And you can see Errol was ultra careful with dealing with Mikey Garcia because he knew Mikey had some pop. He had power. And that's why all the way through to 12 rounds, I don't know if Errol Spence will ever talk about Mikey's power. Errol Spence felt Mikey's power. It didn't stun him, it didn't buzz him, but it made him cautious, ultra cautious, careful how he handled Mikey. He didn't just walk through Mikey like how he crashed Chris Algieri, like how he crashed Lamar Peterson after Lamar Peterson started breaking down. You broke down Lamar Peterson. Lamar Peterson had his defense up, and he started beating through the defense, and Lamar Peterson started running backwards because he couldn't take the punishment on his arms anymore. Right? Errol's beating the shit out of Lamar Peterson's defense. Beat the shit. It's like Mike Tyson beat down the Larry Holmes defense. Made him drop his guard. Fight Heads MMA. Both fighters learned a lot about themselves. Not only about themselves, but they learned a lot. I think that Errol taught Mikey a couple things, and Mikey taught Errol a couple things based on angles and stuff, what Mikey was doing in there. And Mikey was doing a lot in there, but he didn't. All right. So if you execute one move, I'll show you a move that you can execute, right? So if I'm coming at the guy, right? I'm the guy walking him down, right? I gotta walk him down at an angle. So if I'm an orthodox fighter, here I am. I gotta walk you down this way. So we're gonna probably pivot this way. I'm pivoting into your power hand. Okay. You're pivoting away from me. So if I'm coming this way on the pivot, all right, I'm turning. Right? I gotta keep on doing this on the pivot. All right. That's while I'm pivoting, I'm doing that. I'm inching in and I'm pivoting, but I'm staying low and I'm bobbing and weaving. Okay. And I'm walking to you. But I'm ready to catch anything you throw at me. I'm walking to you. Right? Right? I'm walking to you. But I'm changing distance. Sometimes I lean back. Sometimes I go this way. Sometimes I swivel. Sometimes I stand and swivel. But I'm inching in. I'm inching in on you. Okay? I'm inching in on you. And I'm coming at you. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. I'm coming at you. You're gonna try and throw now. You're gonna try and throw, like if you're a southpaw, you're gonna try and throw a lead left or something, right? So I'm waiting. Sometimes I'm way back here. Sometimes I'm leaning in on you, but I'm bobbing, I'm weaving. I gotta keep busy. All right. Mikey's economical. But I'm looking for the opportunity to leap in on you. I'm gonna leap in on your ass. Or I'm shotgun jabbing you. Right? And I know I had, because if you, so I'm trying to explain this to you guys. Watch this hand. This is me. Watch this hand. This is southpaw. And we pivot in this way. And I'm changing levels. I'm trying to angle in on you. Trying to get foot position. And we turn in this way, right? And we turn. But I'm looking for an opportunity to leap in, throw something, and duck under. And bob and weave again. Bob and weave again. You understand what I'm saying? That's the aggressiveness Mikey needed. All right? Because Mikey kind of fights on the outside a little too much. So you have to get on the inside. And the only way to get on the inside, land a good punch. And if I want to spin out or whatever, is I have to get on your inside. So if I'm pivoting this way now, that's not how Mikey was pivoting. Mikey was pivoting this way, okay? Because you want to stay outside of Spence's power hand, all right? And so he tried to go weak side on Spence. So this is Spence here. This is Mikey here. So he tried to go weak side here on this side of Spence so he could catch him with the jab here. Because if Spence don't turn in time, I could get you here. But Spence, equal to the task, he would pivot with Mikey, but then he would lean back. So I throw the jab short, pop, pop. And I swivel, and I'm pivoting. So that's what Spence was doing. So there was a lot of clever things both fighters were doing with each other to nullify the effects. So Spence always had something for Mikey. So even when Mikey cut the angle, Spence won't throw the jab, but he would definitely swivel back to get out of the way, you know? So, I mean, it's that kind of stuff that was going on in this fight. And, you know, once you understand all of those little tricks and little things the guys were doing, it becomes very interesting. But again, a lot of people just don't understand boxing, you know what I'm saying? But there's always something you can counter another guy with, something to nullify or neutralize another opponent. Any martial arts. I did in close Chitaro fighting. So with me, I fought on the inside. So I'm right. If you are arm's length from me, I'm going to take you down. I don't care what you have. You could have a knife, a weapon, whatever. I'll take you down. All right? Definitely take you down. Right? And so, but if you're far away, there's nothing I can do. Well, it's the same thing with Mikey. Mikey, if you within a certain range, Mikey could take you down. The thing with Mikey was he had to be the aggressor. Errol Spence was boxing. Anytime okay, so rule number one, if you got two boxers in the ring, somebody got to be the aggressor, right? If the other guy is boxing you, then it means, sometimes it's a yin and yang, but if the other guy is boxing you and he got longer reach and range, you got to get on the inside of him. You have to. Just find a way, which means you got to be aggressive and you got to press the action on him and get ready to sometimes bang with the dude, right? So you look at Floyd Mayweather versus Gennaro Hernandez. If you look at Floyd Mayweather versus Tony Pep, if you look at Floyd Mayweather versus Zab Judah and Shane Mosley, they had around about the same reach as Floyd. Floyd became more aggressive with these guys because they was too good. They was outboxing his ass. Not Shane Mosley, but Zab Judah was outboxing Floyd's ass and went quicker. So Floyd had to get more aggressive and start walking down Zab Judah. But Genaro Hernandez, who's an excellent boxer, Floyd had to get ultra aggressive on Genaro Hernandez and just come straight at him because Genaro is just too skilled. It's too skilled, too experienced for Floyd to just go boxing him, right? So once Floyd is dealing with a boxer, we got to overpower that boxer. I'm still going to be smart in there, but I'm coming at you real rapidly, like Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor, we used to get clocked sometimes on the chin and shit, but Aaron Pryor keep coming at you. He just keep coming at you. And you use different techniques, and you got to move. You got to just keep busy, and you got to keep going at guys like Errol Spence because Errol Spence is that skilled. Marcos Maidana is more of a brawler style, but he had a good jab. So that brawler style allowed Marcos Maidana to close the distance on Floyd the first fight. Second, Floyd shut him out. He said, "You ain't even getting a chance." Right? And if Errol Spence don't want nobody to come in on him, nobody gonna come in on him. The way how he was fighting against Mikey, because what he did is he established range and distance early. He established the jab early, and that was it. Anyways, man, it was nice talking with you guys and all that. You can check out. Oh, I wasn't finished. So yeah, Errol Spence is, if he's not pound for pound king off of this fight, if he faces Manny Pacquiao and beats Manny Pacquiao, he will be pound for pound king because Canelo Alvarez didn't beat Floyd Mayweather, right? Canelo Alvarez beat Miguel Cotto, but who's the other pound for pound greats he has? Okay, he beat Gennady Golovkin. Okay, fine. He beat Gennady Golovkin. So he has 3 pound for pound kings that Canelo faced. He beat 2 of them. Beat Miguel Cotto. Was Miguel Cotto pound for pound king? Was Miguel Cotto on the pound for pound list? I don't know. Gennady Golovkin was, and Floyd was. Errol Spence would have beaten Mikey Garcia, was a pound for pound list. He beat the #1 welterweight in the world, which was Kell Brook. That's 2 good names on his list right there. So if he can beat Manny Pacquiao, who I don't know if Manny Pacquiao is pound for pound on the pound for pound list. He should be, but he probably is not. If he beats Manny Pacquiao anyway, that's a living legend, and he deserves to be pound for pound #1, as well as his pay-per-view is going to be out through the ceiling. He's going to be a pay-per-view star after that. So I know Manny Pacquiao will face Errol Spence. A lot of people are saying he won't, and a lot of people are advising him not to. And I'm saying, why would Manny Pacquiao turn down the hugest amount of money he could possibly make right now? There's nobody else that can make a fight with Manny Pacquiao that will make more money than Errol Spence. It's just what it is. He's hot right now, and everybody's counting out Manny Pacquiao in that fight. I never count out Manny Pacquiao in any fight. I'm guaranteeing you, 100% guaranteeing you, Manny Pacquiao will get to Errol Spence and he will land something. So that's a guarantee. That's not something a lot of people. Every single fight Manny Pacquiao has been in, he's been able to get to his opponent and at least stun them or buzz them for a minute. That is a guarantee. And Pacquiao did it to Adrian Broner just very recently. He'll do it to Errol Spence. And Errol Spence will be stunned. But I think Errol Spence will ride through that storm, outbox Manny Pacquiao. He's not getting Manny Pacquiao out of there. As much as he's talking man down, he's going to realize that little Filipino, that little 5'4", little 5'3" Filipino is no fucking joke, man. And he's smarter now. So I expect Manny Pacquiao not necessarily to dominate Errol Spence. That ain't happening. It's not happening. But what I would say is that Manny Pacquiao will put up probably a better fight than he did with Floyd Mayweather. I think it'll be more exciting. I think he's gotten smarter. He knows what to do. Certain things he knows what to do. He's still going to get caught with some straight rights. Errol Spence, oh yeah, Errol Spence not a southpaw. That's true. So he only got the jab. Huh. Actually, you know, having thought about it, I don't know how Errol Spence, because he's not going to really throw lead right. He's going to use the jab probably on Pacquiao. He himself is a left-hander, so Pacquiao ain't going to have to worry about the lead right. Now that I thought about it, he's not going to have to worry about the lead right. He's dealing with another southpaw like himself. Should be interesting, though. Errol Spence likes to do everything off the jab, so maybe Pacquiao won't get past Errol Spence's jab. Maybe that's it. I don't know. That should be interesting. It's going to be a different set of angles. Yeah, man, peoples, but that's what I had to say about that. I'm glad Errol Spence is getting the Pacquiao fight. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Mikey Garcia, what does he have? What can he do? If he stays at welterweight, there are plenty of good fights he could face. I would say that Mikey Garcia should stay at welterweight, at least for 1 or 2 more fights. Because here's what the thing. I don't think Mikey Garcia is going to ever get to face Lomachenko. Not with Bob Arum in the picture. Bob Arum is a plague on boxing. All right. And just up to recently there, Peter cussed his ass out, said stupid fuck to the old man. And he really is a stupid fuck, in my opinion. So I agree with Peter right there. He's a stupid fuck. Bob Arum keeps back fighters from facing other fighters. Terrence Crawford is out of the mix. Terrence Crawford ain't facing no fucking Errol Spence. We all know this. All right, it's gonna be a hard fight to make because of fucking Bob Arum. Bob Arum's trying to get every single scrub. You gonna take if Terrence Crawford facing Amir Khan, you could have faced Errol Spence, you could have faced Sean Porter, you could have faced Keith Thurman. If you're really serious, Bob Arum, you could have made those fights with those guys. And you have the audacity to talk about these guys are not good, but yet Terrence Crawford gonna face Amir Khan, and Amir Khan can put up a fight. Get the fuck out of here. Amir Khan ain't faced none of those guys. He ain't faced Terrence Crawford. He ain't faced Keith Thurman. He ducking all those motherfuckers. So what? He ducked Errol Spence too. Okay, he didn't even face Kell Brook. He ain't even facing Kell Brook. All of those are legitimate welterweights. But the little clout chaser, right? Amir Khan. I'm gonna disrespect Amir Khan right now, even though he shouldn't disrespect boxers to put their lives on the line. But Amir Khan's a hoe. That's what he is, a fucking hoe. Okay? Sorry, people, but that's what he is. He chasing money to cash out. Motherfucker, they say, oh, he outboxed Canelo. Even Amir Khan said Canelo's a better boxer than I am. Why? Because Canelo knew he had to work the body. And he feigned Amir Khan and knocked his ass out. And you telling me a fighter like Terrence Crawford ain't gonna knock out Amir Khan? Oh, because Amir Khan gonna have size. Size don't help no fucking chin. He chinny. So you know what's gonna happen to Amir Khan? He gonna get put to sleep. He a one-trick pony. Right? Danny Garcia found out his ass. He gonna get knocked the spark out. All right, Terrence Crawford gonna knock his ass out. That's what's happening. That's gonna be a man down situation. Fight here at MMA said too funny. No, seriously, man. You know, Bob Arum got the audacity to open his stupid mouth once again and say some shit to promote Terrence Crawford. Who Terrence Crawford's face of? I'm not saying the brother's not skilled, but who the fuck he faced at welterweight? Who? Jose Benavidez? Yeah, Jose Benavidez is a bad boy. You know, he got hurt and stuff. He's a bad boy, but he's not experienced. Terrence Crawford's fighting every single top-ranked scrub we could find, right? Yeah, he looks sensational, but he still ain't fought no top 10 fucking welterweight. You're in the... Mikey Garcia going to face a better welterweight than him. And Mikey Garcia ain't even a fucking welterweight. Mikey Garcia just fought Errol Spence. And all the flack they're giving Mikey Garcia for facing Errol Spence, at least he faced Errol Spence. The best welterweight out there. And now pound for pound #1 in the world. Mikey can do so. I faced him. Look at Bob Arum. Look what he's doing with Terrence Crawford. He's keeping Terrence Crawford back. Because Terrence Crawford should be faced. He should have faced Danny Garcia. Terrence Crawford should have faced him. And Danny Garcia got 1 win in the amateurs. Terrence Crawford got 1 win in the amateurs. He should have faced Danny Garcia. Long time ago. That fight should have happened a long time ago. Pacquiao now have the opportunity to face Danny Garcia. Fucking Bob Arum wouldn't allow Pacquiao to face Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Pacquiao now have anybody he want to face in the welterweight division he could face. And Pacquiao's so happy right now. He a happy man because he got a promotional company. He gonna promote shit. And he's not going to... See, these motherfuckers don't understand boxing, my friend. That's why I'm laughing, right? That's why you laughing right now. Errol Spence knocked out Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri was knocked down 6 times by Manny Pacquiao. 6 fucking times, right? Chris Algieri beat the crap out of Amir Khan, if you guys remember. Amir Khan got the win off of points. But this is the same hoochie mama, fucking whore, Amir Khan, that now Bob Arum is delivering up to Errol Spence, who we know he want to cash out. We know you're going to get knocked the spark out again. But this is the Amir Khan that was protected by Al Heyman, so he ain't facing none of the top welterweights in the world. Be facing everybody like Devin Alexander, all the little scrubs out there. Devin Alexander and, you know, Chris Algieri, you know, because Chris Algieri being the punching bag of the division, right? After Pacquiao knocked him down 6 times, He ends up in another fight where he loses, and then after that, he goes to face Errol Spence. He get knocked the fuck out, right? Chris Algieri is the punching bag of the division, right? And he did have a decent game plan against Errol Spence. He just abandoned his game plan and decided, I'm gonna fight this guy toe to toe. He ain't all that. And bitch, you just got dropped and then you got stopped. And he wanted to get back up and take some more beating. You know what I'm saying? No respect to Chris Algieri, but dude, if you're going to go in a fight knowing that this guy breaks down people to the body, why would you give him an opportunity and you don't even know how to handle it? Of course he bashes your ass in. You have the IQ to beat him. He just doesn't have the discipline. Mikey Garcia much more disciplined. Okay, so Spence got to land much more punches, threw a lot more punches, you know, so he won the fight. Spence didn't knock Mikey the fuck out. That's one. Two, Mikey was actually throwing back stuff that was effective. That's keeping Spence off of him for most of the fight. Most of the fight, if you pay attention, most of the fight was in the center of the ring. Errol Spence was not getting Mikey to go to the corners as he wanted to and tee his ass off. And even when he tried to do that, Mikey would come back and tee his ass off in the corner. So he had to run back. And he had to fight off the back foot a lot of times. Mikey be walking his ass down, trying to figure out how to get on the inside. So if you think about that, Mikey is a different caliber of opponent. And he wasn't going in there just to survive like all these punk ass people be saying. He wasn't trying to survive. He was trying to figure out how to get on the inside of Spence. But like I was saying, you have to, this is not just something you can just do overnight. You have to have the skill to follow up. So if I swivel up and then I gotta follow up with another one, you see, I have to do more than one, right? And when Spence stiff arm you, fuck that stiff arm. It's just like if somebody clinch up on you, fuck that clinch. You have to fight through the clinch. Marcus McDonald would not let Floyd Mayweather clinch him, right? Similarly with the Russian fighters. When a guy try to clinch you up, it's a strategy. But you don't have to let the guy lock you up. You can dip low again. On dipping low, he has to slide out of the clinch. Even if you're trying to, you know, a guy will lock you up this way. So or he will lock up your gloves. He lock you up here. So he lock you up here. You can't pull your gloves out. So what do, motherfucker? You don't fight him. You go with him, right? And you dip. It's martial arts. I'm gonna show you a little something. Again, Shito. If a guy comes to grab you like this, up by your back, so he's grabbing you from behind, all you need to do is drop. You drop with your body and pull him down. And you can drop all the way to the ground, and you can actually, if the guy is gripping hard, he can slam his head into the ground because you just change levels on him. So he'll fall over and pow, he'll hit his head. Same thing in boxing. You open out your arms like this and you drop. All right? You open like this. So the motherfucker can't do you nothing. And he'll try and grab you, but his hands will slide off the elbows. And then you roll. And then whatever the fuck you want to do. Land up 1, 2, whatever. Boom, boom. Or jab him out. Stay flat. Whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So there's a way to get out of a clinch. You know. Or you can rest in the clinch or you can vary it. Sometimes you let the guy clinch you. You let him clinch you twice. And then you surprise him with it. You know who did that? Povetkin did that against the Cuban fighter. Cuban fighter was trying to clinch him up, and he slid out of the clinch and then caught him with a right hook. Southpaw caught him with a right hook, knocked his ass down. So there are different tricks of the trade you can do in boxing. People don't teach these shit, but you know, Argentinian boxers and other people, you have to be able to rough up a boxer. If a guy is boxing very well, you have to rough it out. Canelo roughed up Erislandy Lara. A lot of body work, rough him up, lift him off the ground, put him back down, slam him down. You have to rough up a guy who could outbox you. You have to. You got to be a little bit dirty in there, you know? So that's what once Mikey figured out, Mikey should have figured out, okay, I can't land my jab like I want to. Then I gotta rough this guy up. And that was easier said than done, but that's what you have to do. And when he was pushing Errol to the center of the ring or pushing him out to the ropes, it was really fantastic to see that shit. Because again, I ain't seen nobody ever do that to Errol Spence. Errol Spence is strong. He's physically strong, right? Mike was able to push him around. And this is a guy that's never been at welterweight doing that kind of shit. That's very impressive. All right, very impressive. And there's tricks and strategies to why he was able to do that. You get lower. When you get lower, your center of gravity is lower than the other guy. You can bully into him with your shoulder and push him around. And being the shorter fighter sometimes works as an advantage. So there's a lot of shit that a lot of people don't see in boxing. You understand what I'm saying? This is boxing. This is not fucking strongman contest and all that bullshit. Errol Spence is very strong and all of that, but you have to understand boxing, man. You know, I understand it to some degree. I never trained enough, but I could see what the guys are doing in there and the successful ones. And when you look at it that way, now you'll be able to see what the hell is going on in that ring. It was very intriguing to me, Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. Errol Spence was doing a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong, fantastic job. You know, answering Mikey and being able to land certain shots on Mikey. And even if he wasn't hurting Mikey, he was piling up the points, and that's what's important. And yeah, I like that his coach, Derek James, was still going for the knockout, still trying to close the show. He was trying, you know, but this was not a guy that you could knock out. It wasn't going to happen. And it wasn't, they were saying it's about self-preservation. No, the guy is using his defense, waiting for you to waste off all your offense so he can mount his attack. You know, Winky Wright used to do that shit. He'd shell up, let you throw off your barrage in between, pop a shot with one. You know who else do that? Joshua Clottey. But he did it too much against Patty Pacquiao. But sometimes when a guy's throwing barrages of shots, what are you going to do? You can't do nothing. Floyd sometimes do it. But he dynamic defense. So he can collapse to the side. He collapsed to the side like this. His shell defense, the lead foot will be out this way. So he collapsed to the side here, but his lead foot is out this way. So you have to get around that lead foot, and he'd be watching you, and he's up in the corner like this. All right? Marcus Maidana would throw an overhand right to try and catch him over the top, and then you try and work him from there. But there's a lot of shit, man, in boxing, man. There's a lot of shit in boxing. I wish I could show you guys all that shit that I see. So that's why I have to do some videos. I have a video actually for how Mikey was dealing with Errol Spence in terms of the southpaw and pivoting around the southpaw. It wasn't a whole set of steps, it was just little inchy steps you inch when Errol Spence comes. I tell you, man, dude, man. Hey, love boxing. So yeah, man. Errol Spence, I think he's the truth for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing some more fights with him. Absolutely. I think that you know what? I heard the commentary with Lennox Lewis, Sean Porter, Boo Boo Mancini, and Joe Goosen. That was a good commentary. I was listening to it. Some of it was a little bit off, but not too much. And Joe Goosen realized that Mikey was not going to get knocked out by Spence because of his defense. And that's what I try to explain to a lot of people. When you have good defense, you're not going to get stopped. I don't expect Mikey to ever get stopped in his career because he has good defense. I don't expect Errol Spence to ever get stopped in his career. Good defense. Now, if you watch my series, Fighters Who Not Talk Much About, there's a guy called something Strickland, I think is his name. He never been knocked out, never been stopped. Always had on-point defense. It was his offense that used to let him down. That's why when people say, there's another thing I want to say. Floyd Mayweather is the best defensive fighter out there. That's fucking bullshit. Because you could have great defense like Strickland did and lose every single fight. Because why? You just have defense. That's all you got. You ain't got no offense. Right? Adrian Broner lost to Manny Pacquiao not because of his defense that failed him. It's because his offense failed him. So telling me you're a great defensive fighter doesn't mean fucking shit to me, because you have to have offense. You have to have fucking offense to win a fight. You don't win a fight if you don't throw and land punches, particularly land punches. You can throw as many punches as you want, but the more important thing is that you land them, right? That's what makes you an effective boxer. The thing with Floyd is Floyd didn't have to throw 60, 50, 80, 100 punches to land 20, 18 of them. Didn't have to do that because his punch because he was so effective and so very precise and accurate with his punches, he didn't have to throw a whole set of punches because he knew what punch to throw. It's not just how many fucking punches you throwing around. It's what punch is effective, what punch to throw, when to throw that punch. It's all that shit, man. That's what makes boxing cool. That's why I don't watch martial arts. I don't watch MMA. Fuck MMA. Fuck martial arts. I like boxing. Because there's a lot that goes into boxing. You know, there are different kinds of jabs. When do you use these jabs? When is it appropriate to use this jab? How do I use my defense, integrate my defense so that I could throw the jab? And what kind of jab I'm throwing and why am I throwing that jab? You know, it's all that shit, man. That Floyd intuitively knows. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot to boxing. What happens when Errol Spence moves up a weight class? He can't stop people. He can't drop them anymore. What happens when your power is not enough? Well, Errol Spence realized his power wasn't enough to take care of Mikey, who had never been at welterweight before. Couldn't stop him. And Errol Spence should know. And by the way, Mikey Garcia is the first guy to go 12 rounds with Errol Spence. Nobody else in the history of Errol Spence's fights has gone 12 rounds with him. Nobody. Nobody. Now, people have gone the distance with Errol Spence, but those were, I think, were 8 rounders and 10 rounders. One guy went 10 rounds with Errol Spence, and he made it to the distance. But he was getting beat up. The dude was getting beat up, for real. Mikey, on the other hand, went 12 rounds with Errol Spence. He's not even known as a fucking welterweight. You gotta be impressed with Mikey. I'm not disrespecting Errol Spence. People would turn around and say, "Oh, Errol Spence, he couldn't even get rid of a lightweight." Well, no, not really. That was a very, very good lightweight. Who knows what he's doing? And really, what you really should be doing is praising the lightweight for going the distance with Errol Spence, because Errol Spence has got rid of welterweights already. So we all know Errol Spence got the goods. It's just that you deal with levels. There's levels to boxing. And that lightweight is a very good lightweight. If Mikey Garcia faces Lomachenko, I got Mikey all day, every day. He's stopping Lomachenko. He's stopping his ass. All right, and Lomachenko is a very, very good fighter. But I'm telling you, after seeing what Mikey did with Errol Spence, oh, he gonna fuck up Lomachenko bad. And Bob Arum knows this. He knows Mikey would fuck up Lomachenko, so he won't put Lomachenko to face Mikey. Why? Because Lomachenko is an in and out fighter. And every time Lomachenko comes on the inside, and we already saw him get put down, right? Every time Lomachenko comes within range, because Mikey knows range really well. Anytime he comes within range of Mikey gonna land that straight right on him and beat his ass up. He will stop Lomachenko. He will stomp the shit out of Lomachenko. And a lot of people suspect that would happen. That shit would happen, right? Oh, he would stop Lomachenko. Because Lomachenko used too much. His footwork is too busy. It's like Pacquiao. Too much footwork. You gotta you pivot work, man. Fuck it. Pivot. It's all this footwork, man. You're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna get stopped by a guy who knows range well. Right? Fighters MMA says that's not nice. All combat sports rock all of them, put themselves on the line. I don't disagree with you, brother, but I'm talking about a specialized sport. Boxing is a specialized sport. Like MMA is a mixed martial arts, so they're not specialized. Like there's a lot of subtlety in boxing. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. And a lot of things. All right, for instance, changing up angles on a fighter. In my karate do, when we were watching at tournaments, most guys, they come down the middle, they go toe to toe, and they try to out. But in boxing, you don't have to go toe to toe. There's a lot of illusion behind certain things, so it would look like I'm standing in front of you, but I'm not. That's boxing, and that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. Like, I had to demonstrate this shit. That's why I said, I talk boxing, but I like to show people boxing because it's easier to show people, especially with professionals who actually know what they're doing, show with the professionals what they're doing so you can see what I'm talking about. It's like angles. It's like angles. Like there's a lot of angles in boxing. Like boxing's about, placement, timing, angles. It's shit I can't really explain to you very well. But out of all the martial arts, if you look at a boxer, who only uses his hands, by the way, he uses feet, but not offensively, not to kick people and stuff. A boxer does so much with his fucking hands, bro. It's very complicated. Like, and it's not something, and you have to spend almost your entire life just doing this shit. You know, oh shit, you're a woman. I'm sorry. My bad. Nice to meet you, though. Nice to meet you. And it's nice that you're in combat sports. If you are in, or you like combat sports, that is awesome as well. Shit, no disrespect to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, but you know, I was just saying that, you know, for me, at least for me, I really appreciate boxing. I don't really like other combat sports, and I came from a background where I was in tournaments and stuff with martial arts, with different styles of martial arts, different schools of martial arts, and it was cool. But honestly, it's still scrappy. Like I don't like seeing people who they kind of throw in punches at each other like wild. You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. I'm a person. I do music and all that shit. And actually, I uploaded a song just a minute ago. And so I like the art of something. Like if you're going to do something, do it well. You know, like where you saw Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. That fight was art. Like, you know, when you look at Katie Taylor versus Joanna Valente, Rose Valente, right? You could see the art behind what these people did. They know their craft. And, you know, Katie's still a little wild with her shots and shit, but, you know, it's boxing. There's one thing I didn't like about women's boxing. Sometimes women's boxing can get really scrappy. Like the women would just abandon fucking defense and just be going for the jugular all the time and be like, ah, and just throwing a whole bunch of punches. And it'd be like, fuck, man, this is just, it's kind of wild, you know. They just let it rip. And remind me of the amateurs when you're looking at like the 12-year-olds and stuff, the 9 years and 10, 12-year-olds, the little kids just scrapping. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a little turn off for women's boxing. But you know, I like to see a little bit of skill, just a little bit of skill. You know, if you're an inside fighter, skilled inside fighter, you know, don't abandon your fucking skill to just scrap with somebody and beat them up. You know, I don't like that. So, but Fight Heads MMA says no worries, we good. All right, cool. So I gotta ask you this, Fight Heads MMA. Are you in combat sports yourself? Are you a fighter? Are you have you been in, you know, have you been doing tournaments, professional, amateurs, or anything? Because I'm very interested in like how you, I know you obviously like fighting. You obviously like that. Some people are gifted at fighting. I'm not really. I mean, I used to get beat the crap out when I was younger. I used to get beat up, and even to this day, I don't know what it is with me. I don't really like if somebody's getting an altercation or fight. I don't want to use my skills that I've learned in fighting. I don't actually want to use them on people. You know, if I'm in a tournament, it's different. But I personally, I don't really want to hit anybody with my hands and shit like that. You know, because I know what to do. I know what to do with my hands if I want to kill someone, even, or if I want to neutralize a person. I don't have the control though. So whereas other people may have more control than I do, I could possibly hurt the person more than I really want to. So I don't really like. I did play fighting with a guy once, and he ended up landing on his neck, and that shit was not cool. And after that, I was like, you know what? I don't really want to play fight with people and shit like that. You know. Who you picking in Shields versus Hammer? Christina Hammer versus Clarissa Shields? Unfortunately, I have to pick Shields. I'm not impressed with Shields, though. Shields still not showing me skills. She's just bullying her way through other people and trying to overpower people. I particularly did not like the fight where, what's her name? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find that. And I was particularly annoyed that Katie Taylor got the win over Rose Valente through a head clash. That's some bullshit right there. And the referee called off the fight as if it was a technical knockout. That's some bullshit right there, I'm gonna say. Clarissa Shields got some skill. It's just that she doesn't use it. Like, shit. Let me get it. Let me tell you one of the fight. Let me tell you one. There are a couple boxers out there that I really, really like. There's a Puerto Rican boxer. She's dope as hell. Um, Hannah Hannah Grab Hannah Gabriels. Clarissa Shields versus Hannah Gabriels. I thought that was a good ass fight. Hannah Gabriels dropping her ass. Clarissa Shields' ass. Shields in the middle rounds was doing well, but coming down to the end, again, Gabriels was the person who was landing most of the shots on Clarissa Shields. I thought Gabriels won that fight. But being that she's away from her country and stuff, and Gabriels is fine, man. I like her too. She's sexy and everything. But she can fucking box, man. She can box. She a badass. And the way how she handled Clarissa, she is landing them hard punches. But because Clarissa, she's so big as a middleweight, she's a big middleweight. The fucker could take a punch, you know. So she keep on pressing Gabriels, but Gabriels was the one landing, I thought, the most significant punches on Shields every time she did. And Gabriels kind of started to scrap it out in the middle round. She started scrapping with Shields, and Shields started using some defense and started to really manhandle her for a bit in the middle rounds. And then coming down to the end, Gabriels again came back and was landing some really good shots on Shields. I thought Gabriels could have taken that. I thought it was unfair that they gave Shields the unanimous decision win. So I've seen some bullshit calls in women's boxing that kind of get me pissed off, because Shields is like, you know, the dandada of the fucking division. But I think Shields is big and strong. I think it's her size and strength, really. Because she even said it. She even admitted that she tries to bully women. She tried to be the bully in there, and bully women. And to me, that's bullshit. I'm not into that shit. I'm like, use your skill. Andre Ward was trying to explain to her, use your skill, man. You know, be a skilled fighter, be a skilled boxer. So you know, even though I picked Shields to beat Christina Hammer, you know, and I'm hoping, you know, Shields does that, and she's gonna become undisputed middleweight champion of the world. I gotta say though, that I'm not impressed by Clarissa Shields so far. You know, to me, she's just a fucking bully. You know, she's been outclassed, she's been outboxed by certain fighters. So I'm not very impressed by her until she stops being a fucking bully and really starts to box. Like how Errol Spence, he boxed Mikey Garcia. She showed me her boxing skill more, and I'll be more impressed with her. But there's some sweet boxers out here that I like. I think one of them is a Mexican boxer. She lost a couple fights and shit, but I like her. Let me see if I see her. Oh shit. Let me talk about, you know, what's another thing I just don't like though? I don't like that when we talk about world champions and all that, I see a bunch of hard balls. There's only balls everywhere. Only guys. Like boxing still features the guys too much. I'm like, what happened to a woman? If I'm searching for women champions and shit, I have to really search hard. Women's boxing don't even get fucking televised, and the people who get televised in women's boxing, they're not as good as some of the other women's boxers out there. I think there's some really skilled women's boxers that just never get the shine. You know what I'm saying? They don't get the shine. I mean, only recently on HBO, and HBO's closing off, they featured what's her name? The undisputed welterweight champion of the world. She's one of the best. But again, she kind of bangs too, you know. You know what I'm saying? She bangs, man. I'm like, shit, man. You know, you good, but please box. You know, turns me off when people just banging all the time. Or you get into a scrap, and you start flinging hands. I'm like, what the hell, man? All right. One second. Cecilia Brakus, that's the one I was talking about. I tell you who, there's some fighters, man, they sweet to watch. There's a Jamaican boxer as well. She's southpaw. She good, but she don't have always the stamina. That's the problem. Yeah, hold on a second. Women's boxing, some people, man, they're just nice to watch. See, I think. Tell you who it is just now. I see her name. Yeah, Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano. People kind of criticize her and shit, but I like her, man. I like her. I like watching her box. She sometimes scrap it, but there's another one. There's a short Puerto Rican one. She's sweet to watch too. Very sweet to watch. Really good. Really good boxer. But you know, Puerto Rico is always known for good boxers, though. They known for good boxers. If I see her name up, maybe you know who I'm talking about. Not really impressed with Heather Hardy. She's got a lot of press and shit, but I don't really give a shit about her, to be honest with you. I hope you're not Heather Hardy. Fighters interview, not at all. I interview my fighters and boxers, Amy and pro. All right, cool. Amateur and pro. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. So who you picking for Shields versus Hammer? Who you picking? Do you have an opinion on Clarissa Shields calling herself the GOAT? No, I don't really have. She's supposed to think she's the greatest of all time. She's supposed to think that. She's supposed to think that as a boxer. And she's mowing through everybody in the division so far. So if she feels that way, she's supposed to feel that way. So I don't really have an opinion on how she feels. If she calls herself the GOAT, she's supposed to do that. She's supposed to feel that she's the greatest of all time. If she doesn't feel that way, then what the fuck did she get into boxing for? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be trying to be the best you can be. So if she feels she's better than past boxers at middleweight, we have to look at the other boxers at middleweight. And she thinks she's the greatest boxer of all time. All right. If she wants to say that I'm sure by the end of her career, we will see if that is true or not. We'll see. I mean, she's supposed to say that, though. She's supposed to think that way. You're not just, if you're thinking small, I just want to be a world champion. I just want to be undisputed. They're better boxers than me, and if you're thinking that way, then you're shortchanging yourself. You're supposed to try and be as great as you can be. So if the greatest thing you can do is be the greatest boxer of all time, and then you want to set new standards for yourself, you go for it, man. That's another thing. I don't understand why people are so hateful of younger boxers saying that they're so great and they're better than boxers before them. They're supposed to say that. They've been watching these people. They've been watching boxers all their life, and they've been learning different things in the sport of boxing, and they want to go a different direction. Like, they can do that. There's nothing. I'm not one of those people who's going to down a boxer for that. I'm not impressed with her being a weight bully. That's what I'm saying. Not a weight bully, but a bully. Being stronger than other boxers and beating them up. I'm not impressed by that, but that doesn't mean that she hasn't accomplished a lot of stuff. And I have to bear that in mind. I can't, my personal preference on a boxer, whether I like them or I don't like them, does not deny the facts. And the facts are she is unifying her division. So that's the difference. I don't believe in because I don't like this style or I don't like this fighter, that means that the fighter is not accomplished this and I try to down the fighter and stuff. No, I'm not into that shit. But I'm just saying that for me, I wasn't impressed with her just using her size and her strength against more skilled boxers. That's what I'm saying. That's all I was saying. But no, I like her. I like her attitude. I like her positive sentiment. I like her fighting spirit. I like that. And those are all attributes that are really good. And she has, for the casual fan, I guess, a fan-friendly style. Not for me. I'm not really impressed by that style. But she does have defense. She does have the fundamentals. She can box if she wanted to. I think her mindset is just beat down the person that's in front of me. This is why she probably got knocked down But at the end of the day, she does have some fundamentals. She does have some skill. I just wish, you know, the stuff that Andre would be trying to explain to her, and her coach has been trying to explain to her, I wish she would take the time to do that, just in case she wants to move up a higher weight class. She dominate middleweight division. You may want to defend it a couple times, and you want to move up to super middleweight, etc. You might want to go up to higher weight classes. At some point, you're not going to be a weight bully anymore. What you going to do then? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you want to be able to rely on other things besides just beating down people. Yeah. But I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and as I realize you interview fighters and boxers, amateur and pro, so that's really awesome. And again, I'm just saying that I just want to see more press in the media on certain fighters. I'm impressed with certain fighters that are out here. I don't care if they're men or women. I'm impressed with them. Katie Taylor, for instance, to unify the lightweight division, she just has to face Delphine Persoon. And Delphine Persoon, in my opinion, is not as good a fighter as Rose Volante. I saw Delphine Persoon. She's big, she's tall, she's long, she's rangy, but, I just don't think that she'll present much problems to Katie Taylor as Rose Volante could have. We'll never know because the fight was stopped early. Not early, but it was stopped. And Cecilia Brækhus is already the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, right? Hannah Gabriel's actually a super welterweight. I didn't know that. Oh, so Hannah Gabriel's moved up from super welterweight to face Clarissa Shields. Is that what happened? All Clarissa Shields has to do is try and mop up Christina Hammer. But from what I see, okay. I haven't seen much of Christina Hammer, to be honest with you. I haven't seen much of her. If she can box, though, pretty well, well, I don't know. I don't know if she could beat Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields is a big bully. So I don't know. Yeah. But that's basically it for women's boxing. Yeah. On to what I was saying about these promoters, man. A lot of people hear me really being negative about Bob Arum. And the reason why I'm negative about Bob Arum is because, trust me, the moment Bob Arum is out of the equation in boxing, Bob Arum, that is, the moment he's out of it is the moment boxing is going to open up the possibilities. I believe his son, adopted son, I think he would make more leeway, because I think it's because of his son, Todd the Buff, that we even had Mayweather Pacquiao. If it was up to fucking Bob Arum, we'd never have had Mayweather Pacquiao. Okay, so Todd the Buff made that possible. To get a Crawford versus anybody on the PBC side is going to be a tough ask. Even though Amir Khan is the one that Crawford's facing right now, and Amir Khan gonna get knocked out. He gonna get sparked out. Another knockout waiting for Terrence Crawford. Whoopie-doo. We know Khan's gonna get put to sleep. Crawford gonna sleep him. Shields, I think sometimes if they don't promote themselves, then they don't get promoted. Clarissa Shields. Yeah, I mean, look though, Clarissa Shields has a case for wanting to call herself the GOAT. She still has much more to do, but she's making a case. If she unifies her division, it would be let me tell you the people who could unify their division. It's Cecilia Brækhus has already done it, right? She done it at welterweight. Shields might do it. Katie Taylor might do it. These are the dominant women boxers, right? Just that. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. So it's these three. Cecilia Brækhus, um, Clarissa Shields could possibly do it, and Katie Taylor. Those three are seeking to become undisputed. Well, except for Cecilia Brækhus is already undisputed. They're seeking to be undisputed champions. You know, I had fun and enjoyed your live. Every day I learned something new. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, glad to talk with you, man. Christina has held a belt for the last 9 years. Yeah, but you know, all good things can come to an end. All good things. She has the WBO title out there. She's been fighting mostly where, though? In Germany? She's been fighting in Germany. So, you know, think about it this way, right? Who has Christina Hammer faced that was worth the while? And did she ever fight outside of Germany? You know, there's a lot of German fighters who fought in Germany, and they held on to their belts because they were in Germany, you know. And some people say, you know, you don't get a fair shake in Germany. You could beat a guy like I remember when Marcus Maidana went down into Germany and he beat the shit out of I forgot what the German fighter was, and he didn't get a decision. Marcos Gino Maidana, which by the way, that dude is looking better and better in better and better shape as time goes along. He was fighting for the first time. I think he was fighting for the super lightweight title. And let's see. Yeah, Kotelnik. It was in Germany for the WBA super lightweight title. He faced Kotelnik. He beat Kotelnik's ass. I mean, he beat that motherfucker's ass bad. Messed up his face, everything, and got a split decision loss. The only thing he didn't do was knock his ass out. Yeah, that's Germany for you. So Christina Hammer being, you know, undefeated for 9 years sounds good, but you know, Clarissa Shields to just run through her, I think. Hopefully not. Maybe we get a good fight. That would be nice, but I just don't see. I don't see her doing anything to stop Clarissa Shields from going through her. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. So but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good advertising. Undefeated for 9 years. It sounds good. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. Do you know who the heavyweight champion of the world is in terms of women's boxing? See, this is the aspect of women's boxing. I think her name is Alejandra Jimenez. She's 11-0-1. 2016, she became champion. I don't even know. I don't even know the women's boxing heavyweight division. Who's in the heavyweight division? I don't know who's in the junior heavyweight division. I don't know who's in the light heavyweight division. I don't know who's in the super middleweight division. I don't know the women's boxing like that. And that's sad. You know? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of really good women boxers out there. Just, you know. Fight Edge MMA says Crawford versus Spence. You pick. You mean who? I pick the winner? Who would win? Again, like Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, at first I thought it was a 50-50 fight. I think Crawford versus Spence is also a 50-50 fight, to be fair. Even though Crawford ain't got the experience like Spence facing top-tier opposition, I think he has good enough skills to hang in there with Spence. No, I give Spence the win over Crawford. I give him the win over Crawford. He'd beat Crawford. Because Crawford would go southpaw, and it don't mean shit. Why? Because Spence is a southpaw. So his whole thing would have been if he could go southpaw and fight an orthodox fighter, put the orthodox fighter in an awkward position. Whereas if he goes southpaw on Spence is used to seeing southpaw fighters and orthodox fighters. He fights both, so it would put Crawford don't have any advantage switching on Spence. It won't really work, you know. So, you know, it would be interesting. But I think Spence, based on what I saw with Mikey, I think that Spence would handle Crawford. I think he'd handle Crawford. Wouldn't be as easy as how he handled Mikey, but I think he'd handle Crawford. You know, Crawford is an intelligent fighter. Spence is showing he's an intelligent fighter too. So I think you'd handle Crawford. Yeah. Crawford, I think, has more championship experience, being an undisputed super lightweight champion, being lightweight champion. So he has more championship experience. But I think Spence has faced the better competition. And it's only three really good ones he's had, which is Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, and now Mikey Garcia. But of the three, Mikey Garcia is the best, then Kell Brook. Those are the two ones that I think I count. Lamont Peterson's, he's been a champion and all that, but I don't rate him as highly as the others. Shit, most star fighter can't even get a fair shake over here, and their own country, from the media to judging to the money they get paid. When you say over here, where are you talking about? United States? Yeah, man. Sometimes the media is really, I don't know, man. Depends on which country you're talking about. I would say that if you're looking at what happened to Tyson Fury in the United States, I thought it was sad but even though he did get dropped twice, all right, whether you thought that the first knockdown was a knockdown or not, he did get dropped twice. So kind of even it out a bit. I thought Tyson Fury won that fight against Deontay Wilder. I really did. And I don't think he got the fair shake. He was supposed to at least get the win. It's like with Gabe Rosado versus Solanke just recently there over the weekend. Solanke won the fight because he won more rounds. He got dropped twice. And then Gabe Rosado got dropped twice. You know, I guess the difference is Gabe Rosado got dropped twice. Deontay Wilder didn't get dropped. So I guess that's the difference. Yeah. Anywho, man, it's good talking to you. My name is really Anson, not what you need. I'm Anson Phillip. You can catch me on Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I also got some other videos you can check out besides me singing something and all of that. You also check out the videos on Boxers Not Much Talked About, so you can check out that playlist. It's really good. I also talked about some other things. I went into some expletives. I'm already a Christian. I'm not supposed to be Christian and swearing like that, but sometimes I do. It depends on what stage in my life I'm in. I'm in a rough patch mentally and emotionally right now. So I kind of find myself going off on a rocker for a bit, but yeah, you can check out those things. Especially Boxers Not Talk Much About. I think that's one of my favorites. I also have Floyd Mayweather TBE. I think he's the best ever, but I think he's going to not be the best ever very soon. I think some of these young bucks out here are going to surpass him, definitely. And so at present, I think he was the best thing ever out here. And I really appreciated what he brought to the sport of boxing. Yeah, so I have that playlist. I have a bunch of playlists. I have Boxing 101, all that stuff. I also try to refer to people to good channels. I always talk about Eric Bradley, the Fight Doctor. Really, again, I really appreciate him and his boxing IQ and what he teaches in terms of boxing. He's a real boxing trainer. He's got a lot of professional boxers who have been very successful under him. And he's also very successful in the amateurs in the boxing program. Coach Eric Bradley is the man I'm talking about. Excellent. And there's some other people who also teach boxing. It's nice to know a little bit more about boxing, you know, and sometimes educate yourself on it, even if you may not do the things. But I'm telling you, man, it's nothing like doing the stuff, really, you know. But anyway, it was nice talking to you. Again, the name is Anson. Anytime, feel free to come through. Me either, but I will be doing my research. I have so much going on. I can't get everything and everyone, but I surely do try. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Why don't you put in the comment section a link to your channel or your channel? You should really just send a link. You know what's one of the things you do interviews, right? There's some questions sometimes they don't ask the fighters. Sometimes I think really good questions. There was a lady from Michigan. She would ask some really great questions to the boxers. Not just your usual run-of-the-mill kind of stupid questions like, oh, I was training camp and that kind of bullshit. You know, sometimes just asking the boxers certain things really highlights other aspects of the game of boxing that people don't really hear much about, you know. And so I really appreciate the fact that you even came here. I feel you have this platform where you can actually allow more casual boxing fans and more fans who don't know too much about boxing. You don't have to go too deep into it, but just to kind of give them more insight into the sport, because there's a lot more. The sport has a lot going on in it, that I think the average casual fan doesn't really appreciate, especially what's going on in the ring. Like a lot of times we watch it, boxers on mitts and boxers, training, sparring, whatever, and people don't really understand what exactly those boxers are doing. They sometimes show a lot of footage of it, and they don't seem to understand what the boxers are doing, which is actually something that they would be doing in the ring. So it's those kinds of things. Fighter Heads MMA. What did Tyson Fury do to get the W? Okay, so Tyson Fury basically won 10 of the 12 rounds. Any round that he didn't get knocked down in, he won, right? So you go about winning 10 of 12. Okay, so it's a 10-point must system. So if you win 10 of 12 rounds, okay, 10 of 12 rounds, then that's 100 points, right? 10 by 10. And then the rounds where it was a 10-8 round, because you got dropped, you get 2 8s. So it's 100, and then 8 and 8 is 16. So that's 116. Okay. And Deontay Wilder, who won those 2 rounds, right, which is 10-8 rounds, that's his 2 10s, that's 20. And the other rounds, the other 10 rounds, that is 9. So 9 by 10 is 90. And then 2 10s gives you 110. So 116 to 110, it should be 118. Is it 118 to 110? Did I make a mistake somewhere? No, it's 116 to 110 because you get dropped twice. So Tyson Fury won 116 to 110. It would have been 118 to 110 if he hadn't been dropped. All right, 116 to 110 is the final score of the fight. Now, I feel you sometimes. We come out of our square. Yeah, man. So I'm just saying that's what I had Tyson Fury winning. But let me just say, a lot of people talk about Deontay Wilder is not a good boxer and blah, 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 blah. No, he's a good boxer. He's a good boxer. He's a good boxer. He was able to counter Luis Ortiz. That's how he was able to stop him. It was through boxing that Deontay Wilder actually wins fights. So he's a good boxer. He just, when he gets his opponent in trouble, he goes into showbiz mode and he starts to just do all kinds of crazy things with his hands and his body. He just fling punches wildly, and he lives up to his name, Wilder. But honestly, he uses boxing most of the time. The problem with him, with Tyson Fury, and why he ended up looking so terrible. Tyson Fury varies range, and Deontay Wilder had to close the gap, kind of like what happened with Mikey Garcia. He had to close the gap to get to Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury made Deontay Wilder reach for him and stretch for him, and he counterpunched Deontay Wilder. Pretty much like what happened with Mikey Garcia. When you don't have the reach advantage, and a guy knows how to use his reach and length to counterpunch you, you can have problems. If you don't know how to get on the inside. And Wilder didn't know how to bob and weave. One of the things they should teach as a standard stock in boxing is bobbing and weaving, dipping, dipping. So you dip and you bob and weave, change head slots. If you watch Canelo always, you see that little string thing. Canelo always doing this. And those things make a big difference because Canelo is one of those fighters. Well, against Danny Jacobs, we're going to truly see if he can get past that jab, even though he's done it repeatedly against various fighters. He's done it against Southpaw, Errol Lara, has a great jab. He's done it against Austin Trout, and he's done it against Gennady Golovkin, right? And he did it against Miguel Cotto, who was an excellent jab as well. So Canelo has done it repeatedly, been able to slip past the jab and get up to the inside of a fighter to land his body shots. So let's see if you can do it against Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is going to come with different things. Hopefully you use pivot work as well. Should be interesting how that turns out, that fight. But yeah. Fightheads MMA is my social media. I move more on Facebook. Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, you know, contact me. I'm on Facebook as well. My name is Anson Phillip on Facebook. Just send me the link by PM, private message me the link to your social media, your Facebook, your channel. I would love to see what you do. It's always good to see. You know, we have Michelle Phillips, we have Michelle Phelps, we have a couple other women in the business of boxing. You don't see a lot of them still to this day, even though I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women out there who are boxing heads and love boxing, but it is what it is. So it'd be nice to see your channel, and maybe I could promote it on my channel. I could send links to other people so that they could know about it. Because once again, it's boxing. It's a contact sport. We all love boxing. We all love fighting to some degree. I don't really love fighting. This is the irony of the situation. I don't really like fighting people. Like, that's not my personality. I think the thing with me is why I love boxing is because I love chess. I love strategy. I love watching people who have a lot to win or gain go at it. But the guy in front of me is my enemy to some degree. I don't like him, but it's really the challenge that I'm facing that really makes it interesting for me. It's not about the combat, it's the challenge presented. That's why I watched at Mikey when he was fighting Errol Spence, and I really enjoyed the fact that he was trying to work out the challenge that was before him. And he was up to the task to a certain degree, but he still couldn't figure out the puzzle, you know. So I enjoy those kinds of things. And for me, boxing, I don't really like blood, gore, and guts, even though I'm kind of from the medical field. So if I see a lot of blood and guts, it doesn't bother me too much because I always feel like I patch it back up. Yeah. Fightheads MMA. I make the fighters and coaches teach me and make me understand so I know what is happening, because I don't box or fight and I want to speak correctly. There you go. I like that. I like that. Same here. I look at all the interviews. I listen to a lot of what the people in the know, the people who actually fight, do. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad that you got that same spirit I have. And I'm sure you can teach me a thing or two about fighting from what you got the hands-on interviews on these people. Because as you go into detail about how this fight game actually happens, especially what happens in the ring, it gets to me, it gets somewhat complicated. There's a lot of things that go on. You know, just a simple thing like how to parry a punch. As simple as it sounds, it's not as easy as it sounds. You know, it's how you position yourself, how you position your body, position your hand. It's also how you time that punch to parry it, because you have to be at a certain angle so that the punch comes in and bounces off the glove. You see, it's tricky. If you just put, okay, for instance, if I try to parry a punch here, right, and the punch is coming this way at me, if I try to parry it, I'm not parrying anything. I'm pushing back on the punch. So what will happen? The punch will come here, then my hand will hit my face. You see? So parrying, so the way how it goes, I'm in the southpaw stance, right? I'm in the southpaw stance. And let's say an orthodox fighter is throwing a punch at me this way, right? Gonna come and hit me here, right? So I have to be able to time that punch. My chin is down, tucked. I have to be able to time that punch to catch it here and deflect it this way. So the punch is coming at me this way. I have to, see, it's a timing thing. I gotta keep my chin tucked. I'm a southpaw, so I'm here. The guy, he's coming at this angle, so the shot's coming in this way towards me. So as it comes in, my hand is here to protect my chin here, but obviously this angle is coming this way. So I have to come and move it over here and do this. And this is kind of like a martial arts thing again, because I've been in martial arts. So open stance. I'm in the orthodox style stance. So we have something that does like this. We do like that. This is just organic. Okay, this is the organic thing. So if somebody's throwing a punch or a kick or something, I'm gonna parry it down. That's just natural. The other stance here in the back, right? If somebody's coming with a shot this way now, I can parry it up this way. Now in boxing, I'm in the orthodox stance, all right? This is to protect my chin here. I keep my thing tucked. I'm in a shell, okay? I'm in a typical shell, right? So if you are throwing a punch at me here, for instance, I can have an extended stance here and I can block it this way. If you're throwing at my chin this way, over the top, I can do like this. And I still have this to protect. I could knock it away, right? I could do like that. See? So, like, it's all these kinds of things that it's kind of like martial arts. In martial arts, I learned to do this, right? And it's in your katas too, right? So I parry a shot up. So if a guy's coming like with a knife at me, right, and he's coming down this way, I block it. I could get inside. I have to get inside on him, get to his wrist or his arm, and knock the shot up. And by knocking it up, it'll knock the knife out of his hand, and etc. Right? So this is just simple martial arts where you block a shot up this way, right? All right, or you parry it down this way. Okay. So it's the same thing with boxing. It's a martial art itself as well. So, and if you look at boxers, if you really look at them without gloves on, they're using open. You see them with open palms, and they literally trying to touch each other. But really, you know, it's a martial art. So, you know, that's what I like about boxing. You know, there's a lot of different styles in the martial arts of boxing. Let's put it that way. And you could do many different things. You could add different flavors. You could go into different forms of fighting and draw things from those different forms of fighting to use in your hand-to-hand combat. Because, okay, Karate Do is what? Karate Do is it's about the open palm, right? It's open palm fighting. So my hands, you hear boxers say, I dig to the body. I use my knife to dig to the body. Well, guess what? In martial arts, our hands are knives too. So I don't even have to, like in martial arts, my hands are knives. So if I don't need to have a knife to stab you. I can just, you're coming at me at a certain speed, and I could just dig you straight down the solar plexus here. You could run right into my knife. I can kill you that way, right? I could kill you. I could go for your diaphragm, freeze up your diaphragm, you know, and guess what? Punch could do the same thing. Right? You punch this way, right? With the knuckles, right there, right? So if I stab you here, if I stab you with this, right, as you coming in, right? I strike you and I stab you. I turn to the side, I turn it over and I stab you. Guess what? You're dead, right? So it's the same thing in boxing. It's the same kind of idea. The only difference is the way how I might throw a punch in martial arts. It's a little bit different to how I might throw a punch in boxing. There are different types of punches you throw in boxing, you know, whereas in martial arts, it's mostly straight down the center, you know, that kind of thing. Anywho, it was nice talking to you, Fightheads MMA. Do please keep in contact with me. Let me get you a link of your stuff on Facebook and so on. I really like to see what you're doing, and I wish you the best success in your endeavors, man. This is a great thing to do. We need more people, you know, talking more about boxing, like real boxing. You know what I mean? I really enjoy talking real boxing with people. Some other guys I like to talk about, I'll just refer right now. Beeb, I don't know if you know Beeb, Habib. He has a channel. It's not the greatest channel in the world, but, you know, and they don't always talk stuff that necessarily breaks down what they think they saw. But there's that channel. There's Fran Sands Boxing. He's a British dude, and he breaks it down really specific, precise, and very simply. You know, Fran Sands, he's an English dude, and he shows you the fundamentals of boxing. I like that you have to know the fundamentals of boxing, and it's not just punching and you know, how to throw a punch and that kind of thing. It's also about your footwork. It's all about your defense. It's all about your offense, of course. That's the most obvious one. And it's also about not just your defense, your offense, and you know, it's not just your defense and your offense. There's also other aspects of boxing which will have to involve um, your mental attitude. Because I could have great defense, I could have great offense, right? But I'm not well conditioned. So I know what to do, but if a guy is stronger than me and he starts to bash me around, I'm gonna break down. My defense will break down, and I get knocked out of there. Or I don't have stamina and conditioning, so I'm good for the first 2 rounds, but then after that, I'm not good for myself. So everything breaks down, and I get stopped. You know, so it's that kind of thing. And then the process of how you develop conditioning, how you um, develop the mental aspect of your game, the spiritual and mental aspect of your game, so that you're not going to be just breaking down when the situation gets difficult. Because with boxing, it's a lot about cardio. It's like a marathon. So, you know, you can when you are tired, you still have to be able to perform in spite of being tired. A lot of boxers learn how to fight through fatigue, and they're used to that. So, you know, it's all of that. I dare you. There's also the boxing voice. The boxing voice is great because these guys who talk now boxing, they've actually been in boxing tournaments. They've actually trained in boxing. So they really have a hands-on feel for boxing now. And that's good, because now when you're talking boxing, you actually experience the boxing. You've actually been in there. And that's one of the things I want to do. I want to be able to participate in an amateur or a pro tournament. Even though I'm old, I'm 44 years old, I want to still try and do that, because I think that unless you've actually boxed, you will not fully appreciate how difficult it is and how much goes into what these guys at the top tier level are doing in that ring. So it's just one of those things. Bare knuckle fighting, what do you think about it? I follow the BKFC since they started last year. Bare knuckle fighting championship. Okay, I remember when it was BKB, but I didn't know about BKFC. I heard Paulie Malignaggi is going to be participating in that. I don't know much about it, actually. You kind of highlighted that to me. I don't know why people would want to get into bare knuckle fighting at this point in time. I'll tell you why I say that. The way, like a guy like Paulie Malignaggi could really rearrange a guy's face, you know, with bare knuckle fighting. If Paulie were to go into bare knuckle fighting against any opponent, I think he brutalizes them, because that's just not right. Because you've been boxing with gloves all the time, 8-ounce gloves. Now you have no gloves on? Are you kidding me? You know, at least you had some kind of cushioning in the 8-ounce gloves. Now you just fighting with your knuckles. You know, you mess up people, man. I think people who don't punch that hard, it's okay. But a professional boxer going into bare knuckle brawling is, I think it's risky. I think it's risky. I saw one guy punch another guy and break his jaw, you know. His whole mouth was bloody and everything. And I was a boxer to the next boxer. So I don't know if that's a good idea to just go with that. You know, there's a reason why we wear gloves. That's just my thoughts. Jackson the Hopeful, what's up, bro? I was just about to wrap up. Talking to your Fight Heads MMA. Great discussion we were having on some other things besides just the current affairs in boxing. Everything's kind of good. Everything's kind of good. I'm still kind of a bit depressed because of my mom's death, but I'm trying to work through it. I haven't actually gone out and done anything more than just kind of take a walk, buy some food and stuff. Fight Heads MMA says, we see so many fights lost because of their conditioning is not where it should be. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you even hear the boxers now tell one another, hey, man, you better come prepared. You better come ready. Because, and then again, the mental aspect of boxing is also important. Take, for instance, we have Abdul Malef. We had a Puerto Rican fighter. And just recently we had Adonis Stevenson. All three of those guys got serious brain damage. Adonis Stevenson is probably sipping out a straw still. We have Abdul Malef. He's still you know, he hardly can talk and walk anymore. And then we have Pritchard Cologne, who is brain damaged, and he's sipping out a straw. He's not even, I don't even know if he can walk anymore. And that shit is terrible, right? So, you know, the mental aspect of boxing is very important. And a lot of people talk about mental aspect in terms of willpower. I'm not talking about willpower. I'm talking about the coach must know when to pull his fighter out of a fight if the fight is getting unnecessary damage. The fighter is not going to pull himself out of the fight because that's what he does. He fights. He's not aware of how much his body's taking a beating. So it's really the mental aspect involves the trainers, the people who support you. You must have people who are really looking out for you, looking out for your back, so that because boxers get knocked down, they get all kinds of things happen to them while they're training. While they're training, all kinds of things happen to them. Okay, nobody talks about it, but they're taking a lot of punishment. And then you go in the ring, and now you're going without 16-ounce gloves. You're going with 8-ounce gloves if you're a welterweight or less. If you're above that, 10-ounce gloves. And that's a significant difference between a 10-ounce glove and a 16-ounce glove. A 10-ounce glove is lighter, which means the guy's going to hit you harder. So, you know, you've got to have people in there looking out for your interests so that while you're switched on, they say, no, that's enough. You took enough punishment, you know, and you may be mad with them for it, but you get to live another day and move around relatively normal, right? So that's what I'm talking about, mental aspect. And that goes back to, again, bare knuckle brawl. If you have a boxer in bare knuckle brawls, that's fucked up because that boxer is going to be hitting harder than everybody else. Because why? He'd been trained. Paulie Malignaggi is said to be not a great hitter, and he has knuckle problems and he has hand problems. Trust me, Paulie going to look like a beast amongst those bare knuckle brawl guys because Paulie has actually been fighting with gloves. So he punches harder than everybody there. So that, you know, I don't know. I think it's risky when you have guys who can really punch and they know what they're doing. They've been training since they're babies to box. You don't really want them in a bare knuckle brawl situation, but it is what it is. Jackson Hopeful says Paulie should not return to boxing. He got his ass whooped every big fight he was in. No, actually not. Remember, Paulie beat Zab Judah. That was not too long ago. He beat Zab Judah. So, you know, Jackson Hole, he hopped in with Amir Khan, and Amir Khan treated his head like a motherfucking speed bag. It was insane. Yeah. He got his ass beat by Amir Khan. At the time, Amir Khan looked unstoppable back then. Because I think he beat up Marco Antonio Barrera, bloodied up his face and shit. Yeah. Amir Khan reminded me of Katie Taylor in that respect. Left, right. Straight down the pike, but it just a lot of speed. But people figured out Danny Garcia exposed Amir Khan. Amir Khan had all that speed in the world. Danny was looking at the floor and threw that left out of hell. Boom! Amir Khan went down. That was all she wrote. Overhand left or overhand right. And Amir Khan's on Wobble Street. You can have Marcos Maidana did the same shit. He wrecked him, actually. Marcos Maidana wrecked his ass. Didn't drop him, but he wrecked him. Amir Khan permanently had a face that was looking like this. His nose went that way. Oh, my God. Amir Khan. Now everybody thinks of Amir Khan as hey, Amir Khan's going in a fight. We know he's going to get stopped, so we're just watching for that. We're like, all right, here comes Amir Khan's going to get stopped at some point. That man, Amir's chin hasn't been the same since Madonna whooped his ass in the 10. Actually, he's always been chinny, though. He's always been chinny, but it's just that he was been so fast. It's kind of like Roy Jones Jr. Nobody thought Roy Jones Jr. was chinny until it was Lou Duval caught him with a lead left, and he went down hard, and he just froze up on the ground. I was like, but Roy's a chinny guy. You catch him on the chin, he goes to sleep. He literally goes to sleep, closes his eyes, and he's down on the ground as if he's dead. Yeah, Roy Jones Jr. is a chinny guy. but nobody ever tested the chin. So nobody ever had tested his chin. Was the same thing with Amir Khan, but we knew that from way back before even Prescott. In the amateurs, I think somebody knocked him down. I think twice he got knocked down. He got back up on Wobble Street and was like punch drunk, moving around the ring. And then Prescott revealed that Amir Khan is chinny. You know, so from way back then, but nobody else tested his chin. He would just throw a barrage of punches, you know, and get him out of there. Yeah, man. So yeah, guys, it's nice talking to you guys. I gotta split. It's now 3:25 in the day where I'm at. I just wanted to spend some time talking with you guys. You can check out my other videos. I think I put up a video just on Mikey Garcia again, and just how intelligent he was trying to approach the thing. And it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, it was good talking to you guys. I'm gonna split now. I'm gonna get out of here. Do like a banana and split from here. But if you guys have any other questions, you should be able to catch me on Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I'm not too sure when Pound for Pound Boxing Report will come out, but you can check me out for that. Don't forget, you can also donate to my channel via Western Union MoneyGram. I do also collect donations from my channel as well, and anybody else who wants to come through, donate. Just feel free to donate, though. It's about donating. You don't have to. You don't have to pay for this. I like doing this. It's my hobby as well, and I have fun with it. All right, guys. Have a good one. You can check out my song too. It was a song I did. I'm not too sure. I think I have to edit it, so I'll go through edit it, and you can check out my music if you like. It's not great. It's not great music, but it just comes in my head, and I just do it. All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace. Deuces.